with Angus McStone.
Welcome to another exciting episode of On the Button with me, Angus McStone. Now, tonight's guest had a frustrating 2014-2015 season, but once she joined a new team, she had an immediate impact, winning the 2016 Scotties Tournament of Hearts. Welcome to the show, the skip for Team Canada, Chelsea Carey. Welcome, Chelsea.
Thank you very much.
How are you today?
I'm not too bad. How are you?
I'm good. So, Chelsea, tell me how it felt going from what I can only imagine was quite a low point to hitting that high and winning the gold medal at the Scottish Tournament of Hearts.
Yeah, it was quite the turnaround. We, it was a tough one, and I'd split with my team in Edmonton, and then was looking at my options and never expected to get the call from Amy and Joss and Lainey when Heather took a step back. So huge opportunity for me, I knew at that time, but I don't think any of us could have dreamt that we would come out our first year together and win the Scotties. So that was a pretty amazing moment for all of us.
Now, obviously, you're on a big high after winning the Tournament of Hearts, Scottish Tournament of Hearts. But then you get to realise a lifelong dream of acting in a TV commercial with yours truly, and you go to here. So tell me, how did that feel?
Well, I was pretty starstruck when I first met you when we were shooting the commercial, I must admit.
That's understandable.
It was awesome. It was quite a trip for me. Never thought I would be doing that. So yeah, it was an interesting day.
Yeah, I'm sensing a wee bit of chemistry. Maybe there's a potential for a mixed doubles team in the future.
Oh, see, there you go. I like that plan.
Yeah. Now, speaking of mixed doubles, your father is the great Dan Carey, and he was your coach out in Manitoba. Have you ever thought about trying to nudge him into leaving retirement and coming back to the ice and perhaps joining a mixed doubles team as a father-daughter combo?
I would love that. He hasn't thrown a rock since 1999, so I don't think it's going to happen. But I used to try to coax him out even just to play mixed when he first retired, but he's having no part of it. So he'll join me and hold the broom for me and stuff, but he wants no part of actually playing anymore.
Now, we're moving on to a segment of the show that I like to call Fantastic Questions. Question number one from Brianna Spruill. Carey. That's a little bit informal there, Brianna. Carey. Oh, Chelsea. As a skip, what are some of the steps you need to take to prepare a strategy for a big game?
So our strategy is pretty set regardless of what kind of game, what's on the line. We would play it pretty similar regardless, but it's a lot of discussion with your team, and it's a lot of looking at stats as far as if you score 2 in the first end, your odds of winning increase, but if you're forced to 1, then what does that do to your odds? So you do a lot of that kind of back and forth, and then you talk to your team and figure out what everybody's comfortable with, because at the end of the day, your strategy can be perfect, but if it's not playing to your team's strengths, it's not going to be very beneficial. So we spend a lot of time in practice just going through end situations and playing against ourselves and going, okay, would it be better if we played this shot instead of that shot in that situation? So lots of time, lots of practice, and lots of kind of analysis, and then we have a pretty set strategy for each end, whether we have the hammer, what the score is, we kind of all know where we're going with it.
And do you refine that strategy as the season progresses, or is it kind of fixed in stone?
No.
Yeah. See what I did there? Fixed in stone.
I feel like my answer should be fixed in stone, but no, it's not. It's liquid. It's ever changing based on kind of how you're playing, and what the stats are is one thing, but what your team's personal stats are is another thing. So it could be that the odds are better to be 1 up coming home without the hammer versus 1 down coming home with. But if your team has success getting 2 in 8 and not success, holding the other team to 1, then you kind of change that. So yeah, it's definitely a moving target, but overall it doesn't change a ton, but it's maneuverable a little bit.
Now that was a curling answer. The second question we've got today is from Blaine Everingham. And Blaine wants to know, what do you look for when testing rocks to know if there's a funny one in your set?
Yeah, so you look to see if they're the same speed and if any of them curl more than the others. So we would all, in our pregame practice, we all match our own set of rocks, and we all throw in 2 rocks in the same spot so that we can kind of get a feel for that, if it's doing something different, if one of them keeps curling more, if one of them keeps sliding further, to see if you've got a heavy rock or a rock that cuts, that kind of thing.
That was a fantastic interview, and those were fantastic questions. I'd like to thank my good friend here, Chelsea Carey, for joining me on the button. Thanks, Chelsea.
Thank you.